The orator will now present the honorary degree. Pro-Vice-Chancellor.
Pro-Vice-Chancellor. Hello everyone, I'm Professor Phil Taylor. I'm the Pro-Vice-Chancellor for Research and Enterprise here at the University of Bristol. Today, we honour an exceptional individual whose contributions have left an indelible mark on society and exemplify the very essence of our university's mission and values. It is with great pleasure and pride that I present to you Jaya Chakrabarti for the award of Doctor of Science Honoris Causa. I know Jaya's family are here today and will be rightly very proud of her as she receives this award. Jaya is a true digital pioneer, an advocate for social impact and a relentless champion for the city of Bristol. Her journey began right here at the University of Bristol, where she earned her BSc in Physics in 1993, followed by an MSc in Advanced Electronic Materials in 1994. Given Jaya's exceptional career in the digital space, I thought it might be worth considering where things were digitally in 1993. The World Wide Web was only just becoming worldwide. The PDF document had just been newly introduced, and the first ever text message had only just been sent. Meanwhile, Jaya was already embarking on a path that would help revolutionise the digital landscape. She has always been intellectually curious and passionate about driving social impact through the use of technology. Throughout her distinguished career, she has harnessed its power to deliver positive social outcomes for both people and planet, focusing on the most vulnerable members of our society, people in poverty, children, older people, people with disabilities. She is a serial social entrepreneur. Her work in the digital realm as CEO and founding director of Nameless Media Group has led to award-winning projects across multiple sectors, showcasing her talent and dedication. However, her accomplishments go far beyond the business realm. Jaya's tireless efforts in combating modern slavery and labour exploitation through Samantrika Limited and Tisk Report are truly awe-inspiring. The creation of the world's largest open transparency in supply chains register demonstrates her commitment to making a real difference in the world. In 2014, Jaya's outstanding contributions were rightfully recognised when she was awarded the Member of the Order of the British Empire for her services to the creative and digital industries, as well as her dedication to the Bristol community. But there is much more to Jaya's story. She is not only a successful entrepreneur and advocate, but a fervent supporter of democratic engagement, net neutrality, education, human rights, and so much more. Her involvement in numerous projects aimed at bettering our society demonstrates her passion for making the world a better place. One remarkable achievement that must be highlighted is Jaya's instrumental role in the A Mayor for Bristol campaign from 2010 to 2012. Chairing the cross-party campaign for a democratically elected mayor in the 2012 referendum, Jaya's efforts were pivotal in securing Bristol as the only city to say yes at the referendum that year. Her tenacity, creativity, and ability to rally support serve as a shining example to all of us about the power of collective action and determination. More recently, in 2021, Jaya became the first female minority ethnic president of the Bristol Chamber of Commerce since it was established in 1823. I couldn't possibly list all of her considerable achievements and accolades, but perhaps the most inspiring aspect of Jaya's story is how she exemplifies the true spirit of a Bristol graduate. Her undergraduate degree in physics didn't confine her, but provided her with a solid foundation that she fearlessly and creatively applied to address critical issues affecting our society. As we celebrate Jaya's accomplishments today, we are reminded that a Bristol education equips us with the tools and skills to make a positive impact, regardless of the path we choose. Her story is a testament to the possibilities that lie before each and every one of you, our new graduates today. Let Jaya's journey inspire you to find your passion, embrace creativity, and make a difference in the world. Pro-Vice-Chancellor, I present Jaya Chakrabarti as eminently worthy of the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa, from the University of Bristol. Her contributions, achievement, and distinction align perfectly with our university's mission and values. Moreover, Jaya's deep-rooted connection to Bristol and her relentless pursuit of positive change embody the spirit of our institution. Congratulations, Jaya, and thank you for inspiring us all with your remarkable journey.
By the authority of the University of Bristol vested in my office, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Congratulations, Jane.
Thank you. Wow, it looks really big. You guys, there's a lot of you out there. I'm so privileged to share this day with you, because actually this is your day. You guys have come through so much to get to this point. And thank you, Philip, for your kind words. This day is special for many reasons to me, but not least because in another universe, I gave up studying physics and conformed to my community's expectations to become a medical doctor. Ultimately also ended up in an arranged marriage to a really high-caste Hindu doctor who was willing to endure my darker than desirable skin in exchange for my high-caste childbearing hips. Thankfully, the universe had somewhat different ideas for me. I am in front of you today because of a series of unfortunate events, mostly failings of my own making. And out of those, I've distilled down 3 pearls of hard-learned wisdom that I'd like you to go forth and embody in everything that you do. No pressure, but it would be really helpful if you would. The first one actually is all about failure. It's about embracing your failures. So I see in front of me so many successes, and this is why you're in this room. You have come through some hard stuff. You have done your degrees through lockdown, degrees of separation of a kind that none of us wish to have had. But success and failure are both paths that lead to new adventures. And for me, every failure came with liberation from expectations and a chance to forge my own path. I'm going to cry at some point. I'm so sorry. I'll cry. When I chose physics, not medicine, my well-meaning consultant auntie came down from Manchester to Bristol to help me see the error of my ways. She sat me in front of the mirror and said, "Look at your brown skin. You'll never be respected unless you are a doctor." So I did actually try to appease my auntie and everyone who I'd failed by going for a PhD, as you do, here at Bristol, my beloved city. But eventually, things got a bit tough. I had some trauma. I was forced to walk away from my PhD for the sake of my own mental health. And finally, I thought I was writing off the possibility of ever becoming any kind of doctor. However, Oh, damn it, it's so emotional up here. I need to stop this. Leaving academia led me to the world of business. Now, no, Bengalis don't do business. We don't run them, we don't go near them. We are doctors, we're lawyers, we're engineers, we're accountants maybe. So when Stuart, my husband, and some of his colleagues and I set up a digital agency, my community was so not impressed. I'd never have left the community, and I'd never have left the comfort of an ivory tower of academia voluntarily, but in the new world of business, I discovered that I had some freedom to rewrite some of the rules. And yeah, here I stand, 24 years later, maybe a bit longer. Stu reminds me it's 30 years. I'm going to say 24 years later, not a medical doctor, not a doctor of philosophy, but a doctor of science? How did that happen? Auntie, you better be impressed. Second pearl of wisdom coming up is actually to connect your story to the stories of others. My own story is built upon the privilege earned from the sacrifices of my parents. My own father, Bristol Chakrabarti, whose engineering maths calculations stopped the Leaning Tower of Pisa from falling over, whose groundbreaking research was the basis for the doctorates of many successful academics, was denied the chance of his own PhD, and was never promoted in his 30-year career in the civil service, a victim of his own institutional racism. My mother, a doctor brought over from India to serve our NHS, endured years of racial harassment at work. Ma, Baba, this is for you. You're my heroes. My story would never have happened were it not for my husband, Stuart, whose genius and unwavering support and love I managed to, oh my God, he was the one who told me that I could be singing in a 70s funk and soul covers band. Bengalis don't do that either, by the way, but with his support, somehow randomly, I ended up a number of years singing funk and soul. Who'd have guessed? Stuart would not have been able to change my universe had it not been for his parents, Peter and Sandra Gallimore, and their sacrifices to get him a decent education, and they were always there for us. Parents in the room, understand the part that you play. Don't forget me. And of course, my beloved boys, Talon and Oration, who are sitting in the front seats. No pressure there either. Everything your daddy and I do to save the world is because you are in it. Which brings me to my beloved Bristol. I did most of my growing up here. Starting at this university, I arrived a terrified 17-year-old with an incredibly low tolerance to alcohol. And also this unreasonable fear of getting on buses, which didn't bode well for getting anywhere in the city. But midnight walks to the suspension bridge with friends, lazy days not revising in Royal Fort Gardens, wrestling with general relativity in the physics library. I grew up, and I found my best friend and soulmate, Stuart, on the same degree course. Bristol was my haven when the community found out of my dishonour, falling in love with someone who wasn't that Hindu doctor. I have a debt to this city that I don't think I will ever be able to repay, but I will keep trying. So, my words to you. Create your networks based on your purpose and values. Volunteer your skills for the greater good at the edge of your discomfort zone. Root yourself to your family, your community, your city, your country, deeply. Your voice, even on its own, can be that pilot light, shining until you ignite that light in others. Now, in a room full of historians and social scientists, political scientists, international studies students and graduates, I don't need to tell you that politics, good or bad, affects everything. But what I will say is that everything is connected, and systems are not broken, they're just wired badly. So when you think you've found something that needs fixing, understand where your world and your story connects with it. And then act within your power, with integrity, to help fix it. You don't have to do it all. Pick one thing, just one thing, and then join it up. My third item of advice is a call to arms, and it's actually listening to your small voice. The call to arms often is thought about in a fanfare of trumpets, but actually it's that tiny little voice in the back of your head telling you that actually this is not right, and you've got to do something. It was a conversation at a Bristol University Enterprise dinner back in 2010 about how the city of Bristol never ever punched at its weight, and we were all outraged, all of us business people and academics, and it was that actually led me to chairing a local democracy campaign, the Yes to Bristol. I had naively shouted, "Someone should do something!" And the CEO of a competing digital agency shouted back, "You should do something, Jaya!" Now, my favourite definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. And that small voice told me, if I'm not prepared to be that somebody, then why should anyone else? I heard that small voice again in 2014 after our digital agency was hit by a bad debt it couldn't recover from, we thought. We made some really tough choices and came through it deeply scarred, much smaller, but still solvent. Do something different, she whispered. You can make a difference. So fueled by a renewed desire for social change, social justice, and after meeting the CEO of an award-winning charity, an anti-slavery charity called Unseen, Stuart and I created a tech social enterprise to tackle labour exploitation and modern slavery in supply chains. TISCreport.org, that's TISC report.org. Got it? It was a crazy thought that maybe if we were all transparent, we would get greater accountability. We'd created something technologically quite straightforward, actually, I say, looking at my husband who had to code the damn thing. But it inadvertently turned into a political football. So, without meaning to, I upset the status quo, confused the Queen, bantered with the Duke of Edinburgh, presented in Westminster a never-to-be-repeated briefing entitled 50 Shades of Compliance, wore Doc Martens to Buckingham Palace, lobbied lords and ladies, met 2 prime ministers at a time that they were rarer than Pokemon. And actually, the thing that's most important is that we have held multinational companies and government bodies to account. We are a social enterprise of 4.5 people. Never say that size matters in that way, it does not. I've always joked that MBE for me stood for a call to action for me to make bigger errors. And with the DSc, I'm going to have to go with do something crazier. Which brings me to this day. This day marks the end of one of the most important journeys of your life so far. And you have come through your tunnel and the light is shining brightly. And looking at you all, I don't see fresh-faced hopefuls. I see an army of determined critical thinkers who are, ready or not, knowing that you've got a job to do. You are articulate, you are ambitious, you have tenacity, you have agency, you are complete finishers, and you get to decide what your story is from here on in. Please, embrace your power, you have it. Lead beyond your authority. There's a planet to save, guys. Oh yeah, one more thing. I apologise for taking probably 10 minutes for delivering a 5-minute speech slot. But when it comes to doing the right thing, asking for forgiveness is almost always better than asking for permission. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jaya, and thank you for your inspiring and slightly mischievous speech about social justice. And for me, the 2 standout features are the small voice you need to listen to, and that a team of 4.5 can begin to change things, and starting small. So brilliant speech and inspiring for us all. It falls to me to do the closing speech, which I hope